I was just thinking about, like, it's going to be so long until these episodes go out.
Yeah, you really
That's where I was. Like, you caught me off guard.
Remember what we said in
No.
these, honestly. I was actually thinking
I
might
felt like
start this one off normal this time, like straight into the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
I was also thinking about we're doing an escape room tomorrow.
Oh, we are doing an escape room tomorrow.
I'm re-excited.
So hyped for an escape. Oh my god, I fucking
okay?
love an escape room. Listen, I am a puzzle person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, I'm gonna sound so nerdy in a hot minute. I love Sudoku. I love.
I mean, if they've listened to the past episodes.
I know. I love a podcast. Like, I'm losing my words. I'm getting so hyped about the escape room that I'm like losing my actual. I love a good puzzle.
Okay.
I love, those like, I was not Rubik's Cube because I was about to do a motion and I knew it was going to look like a Rubik's Cube to you. And I want to be very clear, not a Rubik's Cube because I'm actually bad at those.
Those are fun though.
I mean, you seem like you enjoy them.
Yeah.
They make me mad.
That's fair.
Because, like, I get to one point and then, like, I just get really frustrated.
Yeah, and then you get to, like, a good spot, but you have to get out of that spot in order to proceed.
And I don't like that. Like, I don't like the idea of backtracking my progress.
That's life, baby.
To re-track my progress.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me mad. Like in life.
What were you going to motion at me?
Puzzle box. That's the word.
Oh, okay.
I like a good puzzle box.
Mm-hmm.
But I started doing like that twisty thing you
Yeah.
do with a Rubik's Cube. And I was like, this is only
Puzzle
gonna
boxes
read.
are more slidey.
Yeah, they're more like... You know what I really want to get? I don't know what they're called, and I don't know why I brought this up. You've seen the Da Vinci Code, right?
You talking about with the letters?
Yes!
Oh, shoot!
So cool.
Before you started talking about this, I swear I knew the name of it, but now that it's in the spotlight...
I almost called it a codex, but that's not correct.
Shit. It's gonna bug me this whole recording.
We're gonna be in the middle of talking about something else, and one of us are gonna remember what
I
it's called.
refuse to look it up at this moment.
No, absolutely not.
But if we go through this whole recording without me figuring it out, then I will tap.
Okay, that's fair. If we get to the very end, we will satisfy ourselves and the listeners and actually remember what this thing is called.
I really hope somebody out there is just yelling into their phone or laptop or whatever you're listening on.
I'm going to be mad if I'm right, but I'm super confident it's not called a codex. But a codex
maybe
is
codex is part
else.
of it or something.
Like, it's something else that is also puzzling.
We'll figure it out.
Anyway, escape room tomorrow. I am super
Yes.
hype about it. I literally just tripped over all of my words because I was so excited about it.
Mm-hmm. We should do them more often.
We really should. We should just become escape room people.
Put the money.
They are expensive. They are so expensive. And I don't want to do them with random people.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, then I get stressed that we're not going to vibe and then nothing's going to get solved.
Mm-hmm.
And we've actually had a pretty good track record of solving escape rooms. Mm-hmm. And I don't want any rando to fuck up my... No, I'm joking. But
just
like...
undefeated. Asterisk. Except that one time. But I was with a rando, so it doesn't count.
This is my track record.
But no, my goal for tomorrow is to beat it with no hints. So, fingers crossed.
We haven't gotten there yet, but we have done well enough to not need more than one.
Mm-hmm.
The bachelorette party escape room, we only needed one hint.
Yeah.
We did so good.
The second time she talked to us was just because we, like, didn't finagle something correctly.
Yeah, she was like, you just gotta push it a little harder, bud.
Doesn't count.
Yeah. Which isn't a hint. Like, she was like, you're correct. You've done it right. You're just not... We've also had somebody tell us, like, oh, no, sometimes you have to, like, push in the lock and push it out and then put in the code, and then it'll work right. So, like, I don't count those as hints because it's like you are doing exactly what you're supposed to do. What you don't know is this particular item's the way it functions is a little finagly. You know what I mean? Versus, like, just being like, no,
this real-life object is just sticky as hell.
Yeah, like, it's a little tough. Push it harder. It's fine. You're not going to break it. Anyway,
about? Oh.
we were talking about an escape room. I said something about opening this normal. So that's a great way to be like, hey, I'm your resident rogue, Oreo.
And I'm your druid, Shao. Welcome to the party. I never want us to start at normal.
You know what? I feel like this is going to be our brand. I was going to say this is on brand for us. Mm-hmm. We don't really have a brand yet, so this is just
that
us.
They know of. We have a brand. It's mess.
This is what
it's
our
anxious
brands
messes.
know as on brand for us.
Mm-hmm.
We're like the mom and pop shop. You know, like they have a brand, but like most people don't know it.
I was like, how in the hell are we like a mom and pop shop?
That was clever. Fuck you.
It was clever. It just went over my head. Fine. Shit.
Anyway, if you are just joining us, I am so sorry for your confusion. We are here because I have a plethora of D&D characters that I would love to see out in the universe being utilized and played.
So take them.
Please.
And I'm going to draw them right here on this podcast.
Yep. Our audio format.
Yes.
Every time. I'm never going to stop being a little amused.
This is how artists get like going in the internet, right? With audio. Yeah.
Yep. That is how art works. Says the person who does not draw.
I don't even want to we've already talked about this in the past. I don't even want to get into how art works.
Fucking Andy Warhol.
Looking at you, man. Andrew.
Oh, the people do not know. Here's the thing. We have opinions about Andy Warhol.
They could be super, like, off the mark, but we have them.
Anyway, fucking Andy Warhol.
That's not the character we're introducing today.
It's not. This isn't about Andy Warhol. This is actually not about an artist at all. We're talking about Kumira. No last name, like Cher.
Like Shakira, like Beyonce, like Madonna.
Like all the greats.
Yes.
You know, like Prince. See? Like all the greats. Although Prince was also good enough to go by the artist formerly known as who else, my dude. Like, I'm sorry. We mentioned Prince, so I do have to take a moment just to respect the awe, the wonder that is. Who else could literally be like, oh, you're not allowed to use this name anymore. All right, I am a character. I am this symbol. And you can call me the artist formerly known as Prince. And everybody was just like, his name is a symbol. Nobody else. I could not
Iconic.
Imagine. I could not imagine it. Not even somebody like Madonna being like, oh, I'm a symbol now. People would be like, no, bitch.
That truly would be the reaction. Like,
oh, man. Okay. Kumira. No last name.
Yes.
Because she is a half orc. Monk. Eventually, once again, this is a level 1 character. Eventually, Way of Mercy.
Okay. I have never seen or heard a Way of Mercy monk played. Like, not in a podcast I've listened to, not in any of the games we've played.
No, because nobody, I think Zav has created a Way of Mercy monk before, but never really gotten a chance to play that well.
Like you. He also makes characters.
Yes,
he never plays.
Except he also buys minis for all of them.
Let a man dream.
But I love Way of Mercy because it's really interesting because it is like, oh, I'm using ki to heal, but also I know how to put you out of your misery as an act of mercy, essentially. But this character specifically, Way of Mercy, is kind of fun because originally when I created her, I thought she was going to multi-class. I thought she was going to be barbarian, then monk. But because the character's level 1, we don't usually start campaigns at higher levels.
Yeah.
It would make less sense for the backstory if she was barbarian first but the backstory is she grew up in a monastery, and then second level became monk.
Okay.
Because inherently about half orcs is they do have some of that inherent orc rage that exists with them. And honestly, if you like ever look at like the usual backstory of a half orc, it's like fair. Like it's not great being a half orc. Usually your birth is not consensual, and your parents aren't happy about it, so they don't keep you 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
So like you probably start life kind of angry, you know, and then obviously the inherent orc background would also just attribute to that kind of inherent rage. So having the barbarian, singular level of barbarian, which is her trying to control that rage that she has and literally giving her the mechanic of raging was interesting. And then when I thought about the fact that I was like, but I want to focus on the monk more. So it makes more sense to just not give her barbarian.
Yeah.
And that actually is something that could be fun to play with later on. Because if she starts giving into that rage, then you could give barbarian levels. One of the things our DM, our first DM, hubby DM, Spidey.
Yes. He's becoming more and more like freaking Daenerys with all of his titles.
Husband of Oreo.
Forever DM. The first DM of the first men and the Andals.
But yes.
The unburnt Spidey.
But so Spidey did give my character, we talked about Amma, episode 0, and at some point, because of things that were happening during the campaign, she was getting angrier and angrier because of like, I'm gonna be honest,
life
was fucking rough.
Yeah.
And it was getting even rougher, and it got to a point where something happened, and like she got a level. It was time to level up, and he was like, because of the way you're playing, and I love that he did ask to make sure it was okay first. He was like, I would like to give you a level of barbarian instead of you leveling up in rogue. And I was like, honestly, that makes a lot of sense story-wise.
Fair.
So I will accept that. Yeah. And so that's also just like a fun, interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
As a DM as well, to be like, look, the way you're playing this character, that's kind of why alignment is not something we usually talk about, because it's a lot more to do with how you play the character.
Yeah, that's not a
what
thing we declare.
Like, you can say it on paper all you want, but if you're not playing this character as like lawful neutral, you're not a lawful neutral character. I'm sorry. But so because she was getting angry, he gave her a level in barbarian. And so that would be an interesting thing to play with later, depending on how the story that you put her in goes. If she starts giving into that anger, she takes barbarian levels.
Yeah.
And the more she commits to it, the more barbarian levels you get.
It's all on the narrative.
So, and that's why I decided monk first, because she was built to be somebody who was being taught to quell that rage. So it makes more sense to be monk first. And then if, as she goes out into the world, she starts giving into that anger, then you do take barbarian levels. So that's entirely up to you guys. But I would like the character, if I ever play her, to stay monk, is my current plan. Once again, whatever story she ends up in.
Who knows when you're going to fucking play her?
1, who knows when I'm going to play her. 2, depending on the story, that might super not happen.
So it's really up to you.
But, so Kumira is a half orc monk, will be Way of Mercy, and she's actually very fun. Like, so she'll be mostly simple, because she is 6'5", just kind of average height, like tall, but like average height for her. About 20 years old. She's going off into the world on her own for the first time. Not technically on her own, but on her own for the first time. Female, as I said, is how I wrote her. Play her however you want. Make it a him. Make it non-binary.
Make it a them.
I don't care. 200 pounds, and it is pure muscle.
Ooh.
This is the beefiest
a
chick
lean
I have ever made. Like, just
0% fat.
0% fat. Like, all calf, all thigh muscle, just like all the abs. Just so beefy.
You're trying to get the lesbians excited.
I mean, I might, because she's also not very dressed. Like, she's like, listen, for what I do, I need a lot of room to breathe. Mm-hmm. Clothes are so constricting. So she's just like in short, like cut off shorts and a tank top with like, just like a crop tank top, like ready to fight whenever.
I feel like this person is on my vision board for what I want in my life. Interesting.
So sparsely dressed. I say like crop top, tank top, and short shorts, but this is fantasy world, so like whatever the fantasy equivalent of that is.
Okay.
But also she has like very long black hair because her master of the Way of Mercy, who taught her in the monastery, was a Goliath named Thotham.
You gotta tell me the first 4 letters of this person.
It is exactly what you think.
This all sounds so deliberate.
It is exactly what you think it is, but it's not that deliberate. It is actually just a Goliath name that was offered up.
Okay, sure.
But I just like the alliteration of a TH. And like that's almost rude.
Okay.
But I thought it would be funny because like she doesn't, like a lot of half orcs will sometimes, especially like a lot of people story-wise will have their half orcs like shave down their teeth. So I thought it would be even funnier if she just doesn't. Like she's kind of taught to accept them, but just imagine like somebody with the orc teeth trying to say Thotham.
This is Master. Just Master.
Which is why I named him as such.
My next question was literally, so how did you handle her tusks?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, she doesn't shave them down. She was kind of taught by him that, like, they are part of her. Like, she shouldn't be ashamed of them. She does need to understand the orc half of her, but also know that she can be better than that. She can be different than that.
Healthy environment.
Yeah, like, no. She grew up, like, a really chilling, like, so when it's, at the very beginning, she was essentially left at the doors of the monastery because she was a half-orc baby. And she was brought in because that's what they do. They're like, all right, I guess we're raising a child again.
Yeah.
That's how monasteries work.
They fucking reset the timer. 0 days since orphan left the stairs.
And so essentially they're just like, all right, we're raising a baby. Welcome. So obviously she's being raised as being in a monastery. Kids are assholes, so like she does get a little bullied sometimes.
Yeah.
And, like when she's a small child, she is very much like giving into that rage. Like she's like, fuck you, and fighting kids. But Thotham, obviously you have to think about the fact. You're never gonna stop laughing.
I will keep giggling if you keep saying the name.
Her master.
No, please keep using Thotham.
He was like, you can be more, and you have to also think about the fact, like, I did factor in, like, the Goliath culture, and, like, I wonder why he left, right? So in my mind, there is some sort of, like, injury or something like that made him less useful. He found a place in the monastery, and obviously finding the Way of Mercy, which makes a lot of sense for him if he had been essentially, like, exiled by his clan for not being useful for some sort of injury in service of the clan. Finding the Way of Mercy, which is the mercy to heal you if you need healing, and also the mercy to know when you can't
when
be
to call
healed and to call it. Makes a lot of sense for his backstory. So him being like, I know you feel rejected. I understand that, and I can help you find peace. Essentially the same way I did. Yeah. So he takes her under his wing and starts teaching her the Way of Mercy, kind of helping her deal with like being angry all the time, and then also just kind of like life can be nice, you know, like you're talented But I also gave him and his Goliath clan almost like a Dothraki feel. So, like, he has very long hair.
Yeah.
Because it has been a long time since he has lost a fight.
Yes.
And that's how his people work.
Mm-hmm.
She has never lost a fight in the monastery. Mm-hmm. So she also has insane
all them fucking
hair.
kids she was beating up her life. She always won, though.
She also has crazy long hair by the time she leaves. It is like... She keeps it up in like a really high ponytail so it doesn't like hit the ground.
Yeah.
But it is long enough to, if she let it down, hit the ground.
Yeah.
Which is also a really fun thing to play with because like now she's out in the world. What if she loses a fight?
When? Because like from what you're saying, we're spitting her out into the world at level 1, so she will likely lose a fight, and that's gonna be a fun scene for you guys.
Yeah, that would be a lot
I've just
fun.
noticed you have given the party 2 characters in 1 today. Wow.
Oh, yeah, because the master also has a decent backstory.
Yeah.
Like, like I was telling you before, like, I do usually have a decent idea of who the people around these characters are. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're not as important. Like,
but this one.
Other characters that we talk about have, like, really shitty family that's very detailed. We also have, like, really good family that's very detailed. Mm-hmm. And then a character who you can literally decide if you prefer the master in his story leading up to this point, go for it.
Oh, that would be so rad. If it was like one campaign you're the master and then the next campaign. Yo! Who has 4 years to dedicate themselves to this? Because we want to hear about it.
But like also the other thing was I needed to give him enough of a backstory that it made sense that he'd be like, this kid is always in fucking fights, but I see potential.
Yeah.
And not in that I will train this fighter. Like, because he was Way of Mercy, and I liked the idea of this Half Orc going Way of Mercy instead of something like, you know,
Sun Soul.
or Sun Soul, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, why would he be Way of Mercy? And why would he look at this angry little fighting and be like, there could be something more. So I had to give him more of a backstory also. Which happens sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, I need reasons for this to make sense. You don't technically need reasons for it to make sense. I can't stop myself. I personally
capital
need reasons for it to make sense. Because I don't like holes in the story. Like, I don't ever want, and this is dumb because nobody would bother. Yeah. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't want somebody to be like, why though?
But you bother, and that's enough.
But, so yeah, she has very long black hair.
Was it cryptex? Sorry, it's scratching at me at the back of my mind.
You might be right.
Maybe. We're gonna Google it later. We will have a satisfying ending to this.
Yes.
I swear it.
We will get here. I swear we will get here.
I derailed you. That's on me. Please proceed.
So yes, very long black hair.
Uncut ever.
And then the usual orcish green skin.
Yes.
And
okay, I was gonna ask you
uncut tusks. She does also have hazel eyes, which I thought would be
like
interesting
Kelly Clarkson.
Because they're not. Yes, like Kelly Clarkson.
You sound so defeated.
I'm so mad at that reference. Of all the places to go.
Who else has hazel eyes that are as widely advertised as Kelly Clarkson's?
Like, who else? I can name you many people.
I know, but nobody's talking about him like she does.
Alright, man. Yes, like Kelly Clarkson.
Thank you.
Hazel eyes.
I will only Google Kelly Clarkson when I reference how to draw these eyes.
Oh my god. I do believe you is the thing. I absolutely believe you.
Okay, go on.
God, where was I? Okay, and then, I am giving you a tattoo to draw this time.
Oh, fun.
Because Way of Mercy has in its description that, like, usually people in the Way of Mercy, like, wear long robes with, like, cowls to hide their face. They keep a mask on. I was not doing any of that. I had already like visualized who this character was.
Yeah.
And it was super the opposite. Not covered. Mostly not covered. So I was like, well, that doesn't work. And then I was like, and I don't want to put a mask on her. Like, I don't think she would mask herself. Because that was a part of her growing up journey of being like, yep, this is who I am. Get over it. Which is also part of the reason why she doesn't wear a lot of clothes, too. She's like, this is me. Love it or hate it. But this is what you gonna get.
Right.
So instead, I decided to take the Raven mask idea and give her a Raven tattoo instead.
Oh.
Just so that she could still have that sort of symbol that kind of falls back into that Way of Mercy tidbit without fully covering her face and putting a mask on her. And so I actually have not decided where to put it because I've been bouncing between just a Raven like sitting on her upper shoulder,
right.
Or like a spread wings Raven on her back.
Okay.
Both of those are aesthetically pleasing to me.
Yes.
But I imagine you have a preference for one.
I have already decided. Tune into the YouTube gang.
I was just about to say, I imagine you already have a preference for one.
Yes.
So I will let you make that decision. And I eagerly await what it looks like.
We'll put money on it. I can't tell them right now.
I know. That's the whole point of the reveal.
Yes. That's why they have to go to a different website and continue to follow us.
And then, because she's a monk, obviously we have to do like Dex is the highest.
Yeah. That makes sense. Great timing. Why am I so phlegmy? I didn't realize. Is this just how I am? Is this my being?
I've never noticed before.
Maybe it's just all the talking. Or maybe it's just the allergies. I haven't taken any allergy medicine in a while.
It's allergy season.
Is it? I feel like whenever I talk about it, it's always allergy season.
Babes,
when does allergy season end?
I don't know. I think it depends on when you have allergies.
Whenever you have allergies, then it's the season.
No, I think it's like you have allergies for different things, so there's like different seasons.
Yeah, that's
for
fair.
Different people. So like if you're
different trees are sporing.
Summer and spring would be more, but like winter, if you have like a winter tree or flower allergy, then that's your allergy season.
It just feels like it's always fucking allergy season. Yeah, anyway, I should get some fucking loratadine. Go on.
Okay. So Dex is her highest stat, because monk, that makes the most sense. Yes. But then obviously because Half Orc, Con is second highest.
That makes sense.
Because once again, this just plays into the like born stuff here. And then I gave Wiz third highest because also important as a monk.
It is very.
But I wanted her, funnily enough, I did want her to still be more body focused than mind focused. So I did still make Dex the highest because I played with Wiz or Dex being the highest. But because she is more like physically adept, it made sense to be like Dex first. Con just happened because Half Orc. And then Wiz is the next thing she's actually put effort into heightening. And then strength, intelligence, charisma, all lower stats, whichever order you want. I put charisma again as the dumb stat. Because I put charisma as the dumb stat because personality-wise, she kind of just doesn't have time for stuff. Like, she's just kind of like, I care about what I care about, and I don't care about anything else.
Could be a little abrasive.
Yes, and like, she's not trying to be abrasive. Like, she does care about the people she cares about, but she's also like, she's the type who's like, oh, she's like half naked, so she's probably gonna get hit on. And she's like, no. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you want, but I don't care. Go away.
Fair.
And so it's just like, I just don't have time for a lot with a lot of people. So she could come off very off-putting and abrasive, but she is objectively, physically attractive. So she probably, that kind of balances out to like average-ish.
Yeah.
10.
That makes sense.
Depending on how abrasive you play her, maybe like 9, 8. But
that is the fun to think about, like, however you want to play her, like, the dump stat that you pick for her will, like, tragically change how you play this character. Because, like, if you make her dump stat intelligence, that'll be funny.
She'll be real pretty and real dumb.
Or, like, her dump stat is just strength, where, like, all of her sexy muscle is just, like, for show. Like, you know when, like, a professional bodybuilder, like, arm wrestles with a professional arm wrestler? Yeah. Like that.
Like, no, like, this exists. But
You
it's
look
really
like you
just
should be
for,
strong,
like, the
but...
performance of, yeah, like, I don't have the... And that's why Dex is also the highest, because, like, you do... Like, having muscle is one thing. Having the dexterity to, like, use your muscles correctly, entirely different thing.
Exactly.
Like, you can be super strong and a punch could knock somebody out, but if you are not able to, like, move your body with the amount of agility you need to handle a real fight, you might still get your ass kicked.
Exactly.
So
that's fun to think about.
But yeah, so, and then I also, obviously, this is a funny one because, like, the obvious thing is, weapon of choice is gonna be fists. It's gonna be fists, it's gonna be kicks, it's gonna be her body is essentially her
elbows.
Yes, all the elbows and knees.
Yes.
Maybe, depending on how annoyed she is in a situation, a full, just, like, headbutt.
That same guy trying to hit on her. That she does not have time for.
Yes. But also, I did give her a club and darts.
Okay.
Because, you know, as a monk, you do get some weaponry. It's just not, it's not what you usually use.
I know the darts in D&D are, like, actual fighting darts, but it's just so funny to think about this 200-pound mass of muscle woman just like, and it, like, really hurting them.
Oh my god, yeah. But, like, I truly don't think, I cannot think of a single time where, as I said, because the personality of this character is more so, like, she is very more physically adept, I cannot think of a specific time where she'd be like, oh, let me use the club I have. Let me use the darts I have. Like, no. Like, her first action is a kick, a punch, a headbutt, some elbows, some knees, sense. Like, put you in a chokehold.
Who has the time to grab for a weapon when your fists are right there?
But yeah, so her backstory is, as I said, very simple. She grew up in the monastery. She was taken under the wing of the Master of the Way of Elements, Master of the Way of Mercy, and then she comes of age, and so, funny story, she kind of has a companion, but not really, because it's actually just another PC. So Zav, as Monk Zav at this point, had an idea for a monk that was, like, obsessed with finding, like, love and romance and stuff like that. So he wanted to go out into the world and, like, fall in love. And he, because of who he is as a person,
I think that works out when you actively search for it.
Yeah, like, he, because of who his character was as a person, was her best friend. Like, and they are
in the monastery.
Absolute opposites. Like, he's like love and romance and flowers, and she's like, this sounds dumb. I don't have time for this. But he was going on an adventure, and she was like, you're gonna be destroyed. Somebody needs to be there for you when you get destroyed. So I guess I'm going to. Yeah. And that's why she leaves. Like, she's just going with her friend.
That was unexpected.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, what makes her leave, like, other than, like, growing up?
She's literally...
Her dumb friend.
Yeah, her friend is just like, I want to go out and, like, do things. And she's like, I truly need to keep you grounded and also save you from yourself. Which is where it comes in that, like, she does care very deeply about the people she cares for. She just doesn't care about a lot of people is the problem. So she is abrasive to a lot of people, but very kind and understanding to the people she does care for. So she's like, in her mind, she's like, this is a stupid fucking idea. You are not going to find love this way. You're going to get your heart broken, and you're kind of living in La La Land, and you need, because I've always been the grounding factor, you need me to go with you. Yeah. And that's why she honestly probably would have been fine to just stay at the monastery. She might have gotten wanderlust at some point and been like, I want to go out and see the world, but she didn't have any immediate plans to leave. He was like, I'm going to go find love, and she's like, this is a bad idea. I guess I'm coming with you.
I love all the plot hooks that are available to the, like, you could fuck with the best friend, you could fuck with the master, like.
Yeah. And so that's honestly it. And I do really want to see a campaign where we can put these characters, because I would love to see the dynamic between this, like, really flowery, like, upbeat ray of sunshine.
Head in the clouds.
Dude. Yeah, just... like, dude, and just this, like, very stiff, no nonsense.
Grounded.
Like, honestly, it's kind of like a Starfire and Raven friendship, where it's like, the world is wonderful, and she's like, the world sucks, but whatever. I'm glad you're happy.
So like, you and Sunny. That's what you're telling me.
I mean, yeah.
I see.
And I just love that it's like she didn't really have any goals. She might gain some on her way out, but like her main goal is just to protect her friend.
Yeah.
And everything else will happen
just like,
as it happens.
Oh my god, as a DM, I'm gonna be like, I'm fucking taking that friend. He's going missing immediately.
Just falls in love immediately with the succubus. And I do, like, I also wanted to present this character because I love the idea, like, the character who is her companion is a full other PC. So you can just be like, these are both fun dynamics to play with, and grab a friend and play both of these characters. Or you, just like in Kumira, can play her and then have the NPC friend character, and then immediately lose him. And your entire goal can just be like, I was supposed to protect this idiot, and now he's missing, and I gotta find him.
I turned around for 1 second. Literally 1 second. Like, I had to go to the bathroom one time.
Yes, and there are lots of plot hooks, like, because this character doesn't have like a set goal. If you think of something that you would love to be the character's goal, you as the player, you can add on to this. Like, give her a different reason to leave. Give her a reason on top of her friend deciding to leave. Honestly,
there's a lot of avenues with this one. Yeah,
she has one of the simplest backstories, purely because I did not know what kind of campaign she would end up in.
That's fair.
And I didn't have like a huge like idea for like a full backstory, family story, or anything like that. I liked the idea of this character who was kind of just like, I didn't really mean to leave, but now I'm leaving. Like, and I kind of don't really want to be around people, but my idiot loves people, and like, and so I guess I'm doing people shit now. I don't know, man.
I had another idea of like, what if she wasn't made non-consensually, and then like her mom had to give her up, but then eventually wanted to be involved, and just like that whole thing.
Like, shows back up after she left at the monastery. I also had the idea that like you could also have at some point before she leaves, the master goes out to do something like on a mission because he's away at mercy. It would make sense for him to leave to go help or heal people if your world has like a war in it or something like that. He could go out to help people or something, and then he just doesn't return. And now her goal is to find her master and find out what happened to him, make sure he's not dead, all that kind of stuff. So like there are a lot of ways you can play with. I've given you 3 characters. You can play with these 3.
You're welcome.
However you want to create whatever kind of backstory you think works best for the world you want to play this character in. Or you could not. Or you can keep the backstory as plain and simple as it currently is and see what your DM does with these characters that you've thrown at them. Let your DM destroy you.
Yes. That's always the point of every episode.
But she is also the one character who's like, there's not a lot of work she needs to do. She might need to learn to like open up to people is a possibility, because she is just so like, I don't care about what I care about. Like, I'm kind of unyielding almost. There's like a stiffness to it, but it's fascinating to be Way of Mercy and be kind of stiff because there does have to be like a softness to you. You need to learn a softness,
a little bit of empathy.
I like the idea of her also having to, like, as she goes out and actually puts into practice more the true purpose of the Way of Mercy, like realizing she needs to, like, her bedside manner fucking sucks, and she needs to be kinder, and she needs to be more empathetic to what other people are going through, and like finding the balance between, like, yeah, I kind of like fighting. Like, I like the fighting aspect of being a monk, but also, like, what I was taught was meant to also help people who are hurting. And that's important. And I should embrace that part of it as well. And I think that would be a lot of fun to play with, too.
Just so many avenues.
She is I think, probably the most open character I've created. Because I was just like, I want a super simple backstory that I could just be like, now that I'm finally playing her, I think this is the decision I want to make about what I want her to be, what I want the goal of trying to, like, move her forward to be.
Even thinking about, like, how I'm going to illustrate her, it's just like, well, first I wanted to draw her as a kid with, like, her master, just like how growing up at the monastery, but now it's like, maybe I want to draw her and, like, her friend, just fucking solar opposites.
Just, like, at a table, and he's, like, smiling, and she's like, I hate this.
It's just so many options.
I'm so excited because I was like, this could either be a super easy character for you to draw because it's like you could just, like, have her in fighting stance and be done with it, or it could be like, this is so hard because there's so many things I can do with you.
It's hard because it's so easy to, like, find something and run with it. That's an invitation to you guys out there that would also like to do some fan art of Kumira. I wrote that down wrong. Of our characters here, and the best friend and the master. Show us what you got. Sorry. I was trying to do the show me what you got from Rick and Morty.
Oh my god.
But since I didn't fully commit to it, it stumbled.
It just seemed very unsure. You're like, show us what you got. I don't know, man.
We can try it again. Hey, draw one of these guys. We think it'll look good. Tag us in it. We would really love to see it. Honestly, 100%.
Any of the characters we end up talking about, I would love to see what other people decide to do with them. Like, obviously, I have an appearance in my mind.
Yeah.
It is one of the things I love about art is being like, I can tell you on paper or in words, this is what I imagined, but to actually see somebody be like, this is what I'm hearing from what you're telling me.
And it's always going to be, even if you spend friggin' a novel worth of describing this person, an artist is still going to put their style on it. So it will always be different.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yes! And we want that. So please do that.
But yeah, like, she's done because she's so simple. Like, that's the whole Kumira. She's just out in the world, not super excited about it, honestly, but out in the world trying to keep her friends safe. Yeah. Trying to keep her friends safe, trying to, honestly, at the end of the day, also figure out what it actually means to be a Way of Mercy.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't really had to utilize that yet. Like, she's been able to train and fight, and she knows the skills, but she hasn't actually had to utilize that. And that also works great being level 1, because it makes sense why she wouldn't actually be able to do those things, because she's just done the fighting bits. She just does the fighting boys right now.
Which is also good if you only want to be a fighty boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I've noticed is that, like, in some of your past characters, it's just like, oh, they clearly have this thing to work on, and they're going to grow into this because that will be good for this character. And you're with this one, you're just like, they might grow.
She might not change.
Maybe not.
The most up in the air character I think I have. She might not be the only one. I'm sure when I go through for, like, the next round of characters, I'll see some characters. So I'm like, oh yeah, this character also might not change at all.
It's just as likely that she'll just stay in her ways.
Yeah.
And that's whole for her.
That's the thing. She's one of the only characters that I'm like, even if nothing really about her personality changes, I think because she does have these good aspects as well, like, obviously she'd grow to love and care about a party that she's with, so she's not going to always be an asshole to them. Even if at first she's like, I guess we'll roll with you, he seems super hype about it, whatever. Like, but that doesn't, like, because she does still have that, even if she's always kind of abrasive and people have to be like, okay, we'll do the talking. She's still not a bad person. Yeah. You know, and it, like, as she is as a character, that she could always just be like, I'm not ever really going to care about other people. Yeah. I care about the people I care about. That's enough for me. I like being able to punch stuff. I like being strong. And I'm not going to do anything horrible. But, like, I'll also kick somebody's ass if I have to. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you're not about to step on me or my friends. Like, she could just end up being very true neutral, where it's like, I like what I like.
Period.
It is what it is.
Yeah. This is the part where I say, I like her. Which I do. And the master and the best friend.
That's fun.
We got 3 for 1 today.
I know. I didn't really mean to. I didn't think about how in depth all of these characters kind of end up being. But they are very distinct characters. But they are all so important to her story too. Which is a lot of fun. Yeah. I'm glad you keep liking my characters. They are all very fun for me. I certainly like them. I hope everybody else likes them. Hope you guys are enjoying these characters.
Or if you're a DM, you could hate them but still put them in your campaign. I mean,
yeah, destroy them.
Yeah,
your prerogative.
You have autonomy.
But yeah.
That's
Kumira.
Hey.
I think that was actually the hardest name.
Oh, okay. Oh, buddy, we gotta Google that thing, man.
Oh yeah, we do need to know. We do need to know if we're correct or not.
Vinci letter thing. That's not the best thing to search. Hold on. Apple thing.
This is not getting better.
I know. I don't know how to ask Google for this thing that I want.
That you don't know how what it's called.
It's probably a cryptex. Letter device. There we go. It was cryptex, baby.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. Look, I'm proud of you. I am proud of you.
I'm proud of me too.
We got there, guys. It's a cryptex.
I'm satisfied. I hope you guys are satisfied.
As always, look to the Instagram at Rogan Druid for
please.
the custom character sheet. I truly don't know what you're going to do with this one.
Maybe it'll just be a sexy person.
The whole character sheet is just one sexy person. You will also find the speed draw there, as well as the final image, whatever that may be. Truly up in the air this time.
Oh my god.
Also, my reaction to whatever that drawing is will be on our YouTube, Rogan Druid Pod. Other than that, as always, thanks, guys.
Don't.
No.
I'm putting my foot down. We're telling these people, please rate us.
Oh. Yeah.
I actually don't like the podcasts that are like, hey, rate us 5 stars. Because it's like, hey, if this isn't 5 stars to you, no pressure. But rate us. Like, we're only word of mouth right now. So tell your friends. We would love it.
Oh, yeah. We're babies. So nobody knows who we are. So we would love if you are enjoying us, for you to also mention us to other people who might enjoy us. And yeah, I also don't like the idea of being like, rate us 5 stars, because I don't know if we're 5 stars. I hope we are. I hope you're enjoying it that much. If we're not, like, you know, give us an honest, be honest.
We welcome constructive criticism.
Once again, don't be assholes.
Should that just be our sign off?
Yeah. As always.
Thanks for hanging out. Bye, party.
Bye, party.
Don't be assholes.